Okay, this morning we are working on this throttle body, which is off of this 98 Pontiac Grand Prix GTP, but a lot of them are the same. This particular one has the supercharger on top. Okay, so anyway, we're having a problem with it running rough and sometimes stalling when it was supposed to be idling at a stop sign and whatnot. And she got stuck on the roads. We had to get a tow truck to bring it home. So, okay, number one, first problem that you need to check is this part right here is called the mass airflow sensor, and it has two little prongs that go down inside here right there, and that measures the flow of air going through this thing, which helps the computer adjust the fuel mixture. And then on the side here, this one is called the throttle position sensor, which connected through the throttle body butterfly here to the throttle, and that judges how much throttle you're giving it as you step on the gas. A little spring in there coils around and gives a signal through this little wire unit here to the computer. Okay, but anywho, I replaced the airflow sensor and it runs better, but it's still having trouble idling. So what I did is I took the throttle body off of the car, and man, I'll tell you, it was very, very dirty in here. And for any car with this kind of system to idle, it has to leak a little air around the outside edges of that thing right there, or it's just going to choke out and die. And it had lots of carbon all around there. And I took this thing all apart and cleaned way down deep inside, both sides. And there was a lot of chunky crap on this little screen here, and it's not in the best shape, but it's still okay. But there was a lot of crusty stuff in there, and I had to blow it out with the air hose backwards and get the crap out. Okay, to take it off the car is very simple. Just two little screws, 10mm screws, to your throttle cable bracket, and then disconnect the throttle and the downshifter cable off of the linkage off there. 1, 2, 3 10mm bolts, 2 underneath and 1 on top. Comes right off, easy. So anyway, that's what we do here. If you want to do that yourself on your car, you'll save yourself big bucks. I'm sure if you take it to a mechanic shop, if they even want to do this kind of work, they'll probably charge you $500 or $600 labor, or sell you a whole new unit, which is big bucks. But anyways, we're going to put this back on soon, and we will test it out, and I'll show you the results. Okay guys, here we go. We're going to go ahead and install this throttle body back on now that we've cleaned it out thoroughly, inside and out. And as you can see, the old gasket, I mean, it doesn't look too bad, and you may be tempted to use it again, but don't. The new gasket's only like $5 or $6. And the reason why is because, see right here, you got two little antifreeze coolant passages that go in and out on that unit to help keep it cool. And that's the last thing you need, is to have coolant leaking across there and going right into your intake manifold. Is not a good thing. Okay, so we're going to put this new gasket on here. Make sure you got all your bolt holes lined up, and there's a little alignment dowel in the corner right here. Put that all on flush. Take the throttle body, hang it on the top bolt, align it up on the other two, and there you go. Okay, and we're going to start one of these 10mm little bolts on top here, and I'm going to put it all the way on, finger tight, just to hold everything in place. And for the other two bottom bolts, I'm going to go ahead and use my long socket and my extension and put this nut on there. And I'm going to use two hands. I'm going to hold the nut on there like that with my finger and go underneath there and get it started on the bolt and start screwing it in. Screw it all the way in by hand, and then we're going to take the ratchet and tighten them up. Okay, we've got these all tightened, and tighten them equally, a little bit snug, 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 and then tighter, tighter, tighter till you're done. And then the next step would be to we hooked up our throttle cable and our downshifter cable. I started one screw for the bracket. As you see, it has a slotted hole, so it's easy to line it up right there and slide it on. And then you're going to take your final screw and put it in right here for that little bracket there and tighten those on. Okay, so now we've got our 2 screws tightened finger tight in on the bracket here. I'm going to go ahead and put the ratchet on here and we'll tighten them up, cinch them down. Remember, this stuff's aluminum and small bolts, so you don't need to tighten them super tight. You might break something. So just be aware of that. Okay, that's good for that one. That's good for that one. Okay, next we're going to put our electrical connectors in here. Pretty sure this one goes on the bottom here. You can't really put them in the wrong one because they're different shapes. That one goes in here. Here, okay, bump, 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 3 connectors. Now we're going to put the air breather tube on. Okay, the last few things to hook up was our air temperature sensor, and this vacuum hose goes into the side of the throttle body, which is for your EGR solenoid over here. Okay, that's a major vacuum leak. If you don't hook it up, it won't run with that. And then you're going to tighten up your little wing nut on your thing, and that's a done deal. So let's go ahead and start it and see how it runs. Okay, we're about to start the car. Go ahead, start her up. Sounds good so far. A little bit and go for a little test drive. Anyway, that's a common problem on these cars. Usually it's the airflow sensor, or you need to take that darn thing off and clean it because it gets tons of carbon in that throttle body. Has to be cleaned.